You know, it's interesting. I suck at the introduction of it, right? And I've watched other ones to see how they introduce you, and I've haven't been impressed with any of them. And I'm not gonna try to beat them, by the way. But what I am gonna do is like I'm gonna make a stat sheet in the beginning and introduce that way.
That's hard.
Because I've seen you know your strengths and your weaknesses. I'm just not that good at it. Like I'm not the guy that's like I'm Neiman Johnson and this is the off. No, I'm not doing all that. It's cool. Like we'll have that, and we talked about that on a social media thing. But so I be liking to just get right into it.
All right. Cool.
So for you at Empire, right? I was watching one of your interviews where the guy had said you had got promoted, and I thought that was so interesting for someone like you to be promoted. What does that mean? Like when you're promoted at Empire? Because what were you? And then
well, when I was hired, there was no like breakout of what you would consider coordinator, product manager, senior product manager, director, senior director, VP. We were just all
just like, you're hired and
you're hired.
This is what we need. Can you do it?
No, I really think like on my actual like back end, it was like marketing.
Okay.
But you know, if you know Ghazi, it's like what it says, but what
you're actually doing.
Like, yeah, and his thing was just like, I mean, you know this. I don't know if anyone else does, but like he's based in San Francisco.
Yep.
And he's super Bay Area.
Oh yeah,
heavy
to the fullest. Yeah, like he's
and at the
never
time
moved.
he had no one in LA.
Okay.
So he was like, just be my LA guy.
Yeah.
Be my LA, like whether it's marketing, whether it's A&R, whether it's we need somebody to go to the radio.
Yeah.
Make sure like if we need you to go to the club, just like be that guy. So yeah, on paper it was marketing, but like in real life it was like do it all.
Right.
From like process an invoice to like go get the song played.
You know that so that's why I was like, like what does that mean? So then he's like then you're like, yeah, I'm like the SVP of A&R now.
Yeah,
you know?
VP, no S. VP.
Oh, VP. Yeah, I love that. I'm him. I'm that guy.
Because they might see this and then it's,
I love that. So, what does that mean?
Yeah, so, to go back, I got hired when there was like not that many people in the company. I think there was 60-ish people, give or take. And then it grew over COVID. I think we're close to like 200, maybe over 200. So it called for that, right? And then when that happened, I think we all spoke and just felt like I would serve better in an A&R creative space, but still, I'm still like there for marketing and still make do you know what I mean? Like I'm just like a utility player, bro. Especially when it comes to like when it comes to like Ghazi Empire, anybody needs anything, like they know they could call me for anything, and I'm gonna pick up a broom and I'm gonna sweep the floor, like if that's what needs to be done.
What position was Hitmaker?
A&R.
Was it like the same as you?
Yeah.
Did you take his place?
No, there was no.
Is he still there?
There was no place taken. I'm not sure where he's at right now, but
is he at Empire?
He had his own place. I have my own place for sure.
Got it. Sure. I swear that was like the first thought that happened when you said you got promoted. In my head, I was like, dang, I haven't heard Hitmaker say anything about Empire in a while.
Yeah. No, but what happened with me and him was...
No, I didn't say that. It was like you decided, like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm going to take his spot. But I was wondering, like, I wonder if that happened or not.
I mean, we've hired so many people.
Yeah.
And at the same time, there's people that have also went other places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, I mean, it just happens.
Yeah.
For sure. So, as an A&R, like, what do A&Rs do nowadays?
I think that depends on who you ask and like what the project is, because you have guys at the company who may have taken over like for example, I could give you kind of what I've done and then like what I've seen too. Very different, but at the same time, huge success stories for the company. So
Yeah.
like Shabuzi,
Yeah,
right?
Sock Passe, right? Or
Yeah.
how yeah.
that's
No,
Sock-
it's my
but
boy.
like
Yeah,
Sock didn't necessarily sign him. He wasn't the A&R that like discovered him, 4 or 5 years ago and signed him and bring him in. Shabuzi was already there. Sock was assigned that project, and like he's been an incredible, support system to Shabuzi and an asset to what he's doing. And then there's other cases like myself, like most recently with 310, actually like discovering him and like signing him and funding that and finding the records and the whole artist, the whole like the old school like artist development A&R
from A to Z.
Literally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think like guys like me or like Sock Passe, it's like we just whatever needs to be done.
With Sock Passe, it was like a thing where he was just like, this is in the building and I like this. And I see this working. And then he attached himself to it like, hey, like, I'm willing to help. I'm in the building.
I'm not sure if I have to ask if I'm not sure if it was him or if like that was Tina's call. I know like I've been working closely with Tina and like there's things where she may be like, hey, I think you'll be a good fit for this. Or hey, like such and such needs help.
Yeah.
Go over there and figure it out and then come back. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure how he was a part of it.
So one day we were in Dallas. Me and Victor went to the Dallas game 3. I forget what team they were playing. I think it was Minnesota. It was Minnesota. And this guy that we know in Dallas was like, yeah, man, I was just with this kid, Shabuzi, right? And I don't know if Victor knew who Shabuzi even was but from that day, I had to hear that song every single day at the bar getting tipsy. Like every day, right?
Yeah.
And then it was so crazy because I had never heard the song before that.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was just popping up. Boom. Like one day, Tyler, like obviously, or not obviously, but me and Tyler and Vic, we close. We was on the same team. And Tyler posted it. And I was like, damn, this song is huge. Because I'm not like a big country guy. Like, even when Vic was playing it, I was just kind of like, this is like the Nelly song. Like, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
And then as it was growing and growing and growing, I was like, wow, like, this is huge. Like, this song is going crazy. And when he introduced it to Victor, he was like, yeah, this is the #1 country song in the world. It didn't register. I was just like, so, like, we don't listen to country. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then as I like watching, like me and Sock, like we have a relationship, like we cool.
Yeah.
So like I start seeing it on, he was like posting, and the next thing you know, I'm like, dang, it's like a #1 record now.
Like not even country.
No, just
period.
Top 100, right?
Yeah.
So then it led me to believe, like, cause at Empire, there hadn't been like a lot, like there've been success after success after success. And like, was interested on that interview, you were saying like, yo, I was with Empire when it was Empire Distribution.
Yeah.
And me too.
Yeah, no, facts. So, for sure, yeah.
So I know like the progress that they've had and they built, where like I feel like the first radio record was like what's the kid? Sage, the gym. Yeah, Sage. And he had the 2 at the same time. And they were just kind of happy to have a successful radio record.
Yeah.
So then it like grows and it grows. And then now they have like real #1 records. There's like, you guys' record was like #1 too, right?
Yeah, on rhythmic and rap, yeah. So we went #1. Shabuzi went #1.
They're having like #1 records now. And what's interesting is that a lot of artists may not think that can happen at a place where you would call yourself like an independent artist.
Yeah, it's true.
And they would blame like the budget.
Yeah.
Saying that like, oh, well, I'm independent and I need a certain budget and a certain How true do you think that is?
I think Empire has really established that anything that could happen at any other label can happen as an indie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? At Empire. I mean, I don't know about any other indies, but like if you look at what Empire has accomplished on the hip hop and rap side,
Mm-hmm.
what we're currently accomplishing at country, what we've accomplished with like the Afro beats and that
Yep.
whole scene in Nigeria, like there's really nothing that any other company can accomplish that we can't or haven't
Yeah.
already. I just think what it is that artists and managers and people in the industry have been just brainwashed that in order to achieve this, you have to be with the major. And it's just not true. Like I
Yeah.
remember with 310 early on, the biggest executives, like people that we know at the top, were literally looking us in the eyes and being like, you will never have a number one unless you sign to us.
Wow.
And that was a big motivating factor. You can't tell a 17-year-old that
They can't do something.
they can't do something
Mhm.
because then they gonna
But-
be like,
Do you think that because I mean I'm a manager also, right?
Yeah.
And it's like as a manager, you kind of want to tell your artists, well, we can do it here.
yeah,
You just need to give me what I need.
absolutely,
And it's like this is the epitome of that to me.
yeah,
Like, if you give me what I need, we can do this anywhere.
absolutely,
You know what I mean? And what I wanted to ask you was like, what's the difference between an artist that has the record and the artist that don't have the record?
So I think that an artist that has a record and doesn't have the record, I think it means something different today than 10, 15 years ago. Like I think back then, if you didn't have a hit, it could have been very quiet for you. And there was definitely like an indie scene, but not like it is now. But now you don't need a hit record to make a great living doing music.
1,000%.
You
Yeah.
know, there's so many guys that we both know that make high 6, 7 figures just on their catalog.
A month.
Don't even have a hit that
Yeah.
that a radio record,
Yeah.
and that's just on their catalog. And we're not counting their publishing, we're not counting their merch, what they get for features,
Yeah. They
et
show.
cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? I think it depends on all like the type of career that you. want.
Well, let's say the guy who's like, I want it all. I
Yeah.
want to be a superstar. I want to sit front row at the New York Fashion Week, Paris. I want to go to Met Gala, but he don't got the record.
Yeah,
What do you tell him?
we need the record.
That's it, right? Like so.
Well, and
so-
it's gonna take time.
No,
You know
but
what
I'm
Like,
saying like, so would you tell him like, because I see certain gurus that are like, oh, like these artists need to be social media content creators
Yeah.
to get their records to.
I don't think like that annoys me when like we probably see the same stuff on
Mhm,
TikTok and stuff,
mhm.
and that annoys me because if there was like one magic answer, you and I would be turning out superstars
Like all the time.
every single day.
Yeah.
And so I do think that there's somewhat of a requirement of like you need to outwork everybody, right? Like you need the stage performance, you need the records, you need the budget, you need the team, you need all of these things. But at the same time, you have to get a little lucky at the same time, bro.
What's the lucky part?
It's just time and just get. It's like we
Because-
both had records that we know are hits and haven't worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
That we know are like we'll play it and be like, this is a smash, but like, why is this record bigger than this record? And so like, if there was this like checklist that we could manufacture, like we'd be Motown.
Yeah.
But like,
Cause like I want to tell artists so bad, like if you want all of the like like the superstar status and treatment and like Met Gala and whatever that comes with it, right? Like just go in the studio and make 3 hits.
Yeah, but
Like,
it's not that easy.
I know it's not that easy.
Right, yeah.
But what else do you do?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, okay, like go in there and make 3 records like 310 Baby.
So here's the interesting thing. Let me say this.
Uh-huh.
Like firsthand, I could tell you this. This was interesting. Soak City blows up.
Yep.
And so naturally, you know, it brings in a wider net of like established writers, producers.
Mm-hmm.
So we get him with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Every producer, writer you could think of. They can't make the record for him.
Mm-hmm.
So one night we're talking, and he'll tell you this too. I was like, you need another song, bro.
Yeah.
Or it's going to get quiet.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, you know, all this, everybody's praising you and the numbers you getting for shows. And I said, that's all great. I said, if you don't get another record in a few months, it's lights out for the both of us.
Yeah.
He went in his room and made Rock Your Hips.
He was like, hey, nah. He
No,
was like,
it gets better. So then, boom. Then I'm like, we need another one. He goes in and he makes Pink Whitney. Now, the only difference with Pink Whitney is originally it sounded almost identical to Soak City.
Mm-hmm.
And we took the piano off and then Stills came and put the new melody on it.
Okay.
So we like, you know, helped produce that. But it was like, that's what's so interesting that like if all these gurus and professionals have this like, you know, sure thing formula of a hit record, they would have all given him hits, but he took a Dupree beat. Dupree's made hits before too. So
but I know what you mean. You're not trying to diminish what he does.
right, but
you're
like,
just saying
took
like,
a Dupree beat into his room, came out, and then it blew up, and it charted higher on the Billboard TikTok charts than Soak City ever charted. It went number 6.
yeah, and but that's like if I was giving an artist advice right now,
Yeah.
I would be like, yo, go in your room and make a hit.
Yeah.
And don't come out into, and I'm not even saying like a brand new, I'm talking about like a Tone Stith, even Eric, Vito. Like, if y'all want to be bigger, it's nothing social media can do for you.
But
go in there,
yeah, exactly,
and make a hit.
But what I think that the double-sided, like the gift and the curse of being independent is it's giving artists a crutch to not make a hit. So if it's like you said, like if you're giving an artist advice of like, yo, I need you to go make a hit, or if you want this, go make a hit, they now have the ability to be like, I don't need a hit. I can go make 12 songs that I want to make.
But that's an artist that doesn't want
to be a star.
Exactly.
Right.
Which there are guys. Because like I would believe, and he would probably agree with me, is that Jeremiah is the epitome of like, I enjoy my life the way that it is. Mm-hmm. And I think that Jeremiah is having like a great time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With the understanding that like, no, I'm not going to shoot a video to every song. And I'm not going to be on TikTok or Instagram the way you guys are. But I'll give y'all niggas some hits though. And
no,
I go on and I do my shows, but I'm not. But I think he also understands what comes with that. It's like, I'm not finna go fill up an arena like Christo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that there's a give and take. Like G is I think G is or you tell me, does G want to be a superstar?
I think in his own right, he is that without the hit. You add a hit to that, and it's like he's.
But which artist you add a hit to is not.
No.
I'm saying,
because you could give some art, like how many like guys that we know have had hits that are no longer here, but like he lands a hit, and it's like it's a problem. Like,
but what do you think is like holding him back from that? Because does he want that?
I believe so.
Because that's where I come in, where I'm like, hey, if you want that, I don't think there's a formula, but I think there is studying to be done. Like, let me tell you, like when I was breaking Eric, right, and I was doing like my research, there was a time when I was like, no, we don't need a radio record, like we don't need that. And as I did more research, I was like, oh no, we absolutely
Do need a record.
must have a radio
Yeah.
record. So then it was like, okay, let me see what a radio record is in this climate. In that climate, you had like Problem was going crazy, up tempo club record. It was Ty Dolla $ign had broke with like a mustard beat. Tinashe had broke with a mustard beat. There was a formula.
Yeah.
Formula was 98 BPM or better, sample maybe, rapper feature or rapper hook or verses.
Yeah.
And you was pretty much gonna be good if it, you know what I mean? Like you needed that type of record. In this climate, I would do my research and say, okay, I would go on like the top records was breaking and I would do my research.
Yeah.
And I would go in the studio until I came out with one.
No, facts. No. That's true. I do believe, I will agree with you that there is that sonic formula, but I also believe that it's not guaranteed to work every time. But if you if you create multiple of those with that structure, BPM, sound, feature, and you continue to put one of them is going to catch. I just don't know if it's number 1 or number 7.
Nah, for sure. But I think like, so 310 and G, I mean, we've been talking about them, so I'm gonna just say them, right? Like, I don't know what their work ethic or how they record, but it seems as though they go in there and do their own joints. Like they go in there and they can pump them out. Like they can make a bunch of songs. This is the type of artist I'm talking about, where it's like, well, you know that in 2-3 months you can make about 100 songs.
Yeah.
Out of 100 songs with the intention that I'm gonna make a hit.
Agree. Yeah.
I don't understand why other artists are just like, all right, fuck social media, fuck, like, I'm just gonna go and make a hit. Like, and it seems like 310 is like, well, shit, you don't need to tell me too many times. like, shit, like, oh, I need to make it. Okay, bet. I'll be back at you tomorrow, champ. Like,
with the hit.
Yeah, like, I'll be back at you. Like, yeah, I know what I want. I love these accolades I'm getting in this treatment. So, yeah, I'm gonna go do that for you. I'll be right back.
People don't even know the truth of Rock Your Hips was his song. And we went to the studio with OGZ to work on his project. I don't know if it was his project, the Shoreline project. We just went to work. Yeah. And they were like, man, pull yours. Like, we need something like you. And we were like, remember I told you, we got beats from everybody, songs from everybody. And we had experimented with so much stuff. They didn't want to hear none of that. And the only thing we had that was like us was Rock Your Hips. That was originally him, beginning to end. And then we played it. And he like, yeah, I want this for my. It was supposed to be OGZ's record, and then for whatever reason it didn't come out. And then before we went on tour, we're like, well, we'll just put it out.
So interesting. Like, I tell people that aren't in music all the time, like, the best records are in artists' hard drives. Like, they're just in there. Yeah. And yeah, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know why. I don't know why they don't put them out. They just don't.
I think that's what is such a big differentiating factor with 310 is that he's coachable. You know,
that's big, man.
Yeah,
like, being coachable is so big, but especially in this climate where like everybody knows everything.
No, yeah, exactly. And with him, I think what had happened is we established such a strong trust, where not only was it my guidance, but me listening to him. Like, him teaching me as much as I'm teaching him. That's big. To where it's like, if he tells me something, okay, cool, I'm following your lead. But it's like, he knows if I tell him, like, it's going to get quiet in a second, he like, oh, okay, I'm going to listen. He's telling the truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
what's interesting about that combo where we're saying, like, you need to give your manager something to work with. Like, you need to give him assets and you need to give him something to manage. I have this theory that there is no manager that is like the best manager. Okay. I think there's a such thing as a good manager, and like, I think Whack 100 is a good manager. And I think you are a good manager. And I think if you guys swap artists, you guys do equally as well with you with Blueface and him with 310 Baby. What do you think about that?
I think I agree with the first half of
What's
what
that?
you said. I don't agree with if we swap artists because I don't know if Blueface follows my direction the same way as 310. Vice versa, I don't know if 310 would listen to him. You know what I mean? Because he had, at the same time when I approached him, he had everybody else approach him. And for his reasons, he chose to want to work with me.
Yeah.
So I think that is what you said as far as like being a good manager and all of these things. I see where you're coming from with that. But if we swap, like, I don't know if I could manage some of these. Like, there's been hella people that passed on that I didn't want to manage.
Because the reason why I say that in the way that I say it is because in this combo, we've agreed that if you have a hit, we could have did this at any label.
Right. I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that with the management as well, like, and, you know, I mean, we could, you know, but I do get that though. Like, there are people who just understand each other more, and, you know, some people just can't get through to an artist or get.
Like, I think if we swapped, I think like I have a great relationship with Eric to where I hope he would take my direction. And I feel like I know you enough to where if you were guiding 310, he would most likely listen to you. So like, I think that works. You know?
Okay, well, maybe that's like maybe that's what I'm saying. Like, if I guess if you take out the component of like, well, will he listen to you? That would have to work. But I mean, I do think that like I agree. Like, I think that like whatever artist that I was managing, whatever heights they got to, I don't think there's a manager that can take you higher than another one. As far as like, I think it's like, it's a lot on the artist to bring you what you need.
But I see, I don't know if, okay, now I understand what you're saying. I don't know if I like agree we're all equal because I wouldn't put you in a conversation with some of these other managers.
But this is like, what I'm saying.
Because they may not pick up their phone.
I'm saying good managers though.
Oh, you saying all A pluses?
Like I'm saying like, good manager. Like whoever. Like who do you think is good? I mean,
okay, but I understand what you're saying. So you gotta be a good manager.
Yeah, you gotta be good though. Like it's gotta be like somebody.
Not all managers.
No, not all managers.
No, we're good.
No, I think there's a such thing as a bad manager.
There we go. Thank you. I needed that to be said.
Oh yeah, no, I think there's a such thing as a bad manager.
And I've seen bad managers mess up like great artists.
Oh,
careers,
for sure. I believe in that.
Yeah,
I'm just saying like there's certain ones that are like, he's good at what he does.
Facts.
Like,
okay, we good.
And then it's like, okay, yeah, like if he was with whoever, he would have got to the same level. They would have got the same spot. You know what I mean? Like, so in that, I hear more nowadays than ever. Managers, a lot of them think that they deserve more than 20%.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I think if all you want to do is be a manager, then that's what you're signing up for. You know what I mean? I know me personally, I've decided to take on more responsibility so that way I could participate in a different way. You know what I mean? For me, it was like, you know, like my grandfather was a carpenter. He built houses. And when he passed, he never owned his own house. And like that set in very deep in my life. So as I processed that, it was like, do I want to pass and not have a house or land to own or call my own? Do I want to keep building everybody else's houses?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's why I decided to make the decisions I did to buy my land and build my own house. But you have to be a owner. You have to own the business. You can't be a manager of the business.
1000%. I think like a lot of the convo that I've been having with like managers that manage, I think they miss that because I think that like that answer is a great answer for them because it's like comparable to what I would tell them. Like, a lot of them, I just think that they hadn't had the right conversations with their artists. And that being like, I feel like a lot of managers feel like they put in money as well, but they're not having like the money convo of like, well, you're like now signed to me.
Yeah.
You know, instead of having that convo, they're like expecting the artist to understand that I owe you for investing in me, but it just never happens for them, and then they're like disgruntled, and then I'm hearing like they're like I don't want to manage anymore, and then
but that's your bad.
Yeah,
like you should have established that.
Yeah, no, I hear it all the time. Like,
and you should have like educate. Like, an artist isn't gonna know. Like, you know what I mean. So especially if they're young, they don't know what they don't know, right? So it's like,
exactly. That's why I'm saying, like, they're expecting them to know, like, oh, you know, this is like I'm like kind of like your label.
Yeah.
And they're expecting them to know that without having the conversation. But I just wanted to know, because you are a manager, so I'm wondering, like, I wonder if Jentry feels like he deserves more than 20% management fee.
No, I mean, the difference with me and being older is like I've just set things up in a way that reflect my contribution.
Yeah.
So it's like, if there are managers that are listening and they're frustrated and they've done more than their management requirements, which invest money or whatever the case may be, then it's like, well, did you take the necessary steps to, like, are you yourself educated on what your relationship should be? One, like, do you have an attorney, a great attorney that's educating you or giving you advice? And then if you don't know, then you need to become educated, and then you need to educate the artist. And then you guys just, for a moment, have to have that uncomfortable convo in the beginning, so that way you could just establish, you know, your guys' participation and then grow from there. But like, if you don't say nothing, they're not going to know, and then you're going to be mad. It's like, it's their fault, but not really their fault, because
they didn't know anyways,
they didn't know
to begin with. Yeah.
So it's like, all they know is like, cool, I'm giving you what you said you wanted, 20%. I made my 10 for the show. Here's your 2, and I'm going to get on.
That's it.
So they think they did right by you.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Do you go on your artist tours?
Some, not all, but like, I went on like G's first tour. I didn't go on the second one. I traveled a ton with 310 when he was 17. And then his first tour with OGZ, which was like 9 dates, I didn't go. This next one that's 22 dates, I'm not going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'll pick and choose. Like, we're gonna go. We have Summer Jam next week, so I'll be at Summer Jam. You know.
Do you feel like tour is an enjoyable experience?
For who?
For you?
No.
Hey, you know,
like,
you know,
why? Like,
you know, it's so funny.
Like,
It's because, like, I feel like now I've spent enough time out of music, so where, like, people, when I tell them that, they don't believe me. They're like, "What do you mean it's not?" I'm like, "No, it's not fun at all.
No,
it's like it's actually like exhausting, excruciating, like pain." You know,
like the first time you go to New York is dope. The second time you like, oh yeah, like third, fourth, fifth time you like, damn, I gotta go to New York again. Damn, I gotta go to Detroit again. Like, you know, like, it's not fun.
Yeah. No. The only reason I'm asking, because I just want to hear other people's perspectives and, you know, and like clear the air. Like,
but hey, that's because we're older and we're like well traveled, and like I think we're both at a place where we could do, like, we want to live how we want to live. We don't want to live like on the back seat of the plane, 2, 3, 4 guys to one room. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you feel like life has changed for you monetarily with 310, or did it happen, like, was it a significant change?
Yeah, he definitely changed my life.
Yeah.
For sure.
What, like, how?
In every way. I think so. We had said something off camera about sometimes a situation that you're in, you know, with the people that are around you. Sometimes people will minimize you to the success of
Oh yeah.
that person.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think in a lot of ways that was happening. Like when you were speaking, is like you were really speaking to like
Oh
me,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
So I was saying that like so you give the
Yeah,
backstory.
I didn't know what, like,
yeah, no,
yeah,
no, I'm
like,
cool
you
with
know,
it. Like
yeah.
I was just saying that like as a manager, like people that are looking at you will equate, you know, your success and the level in which your artist is to like what you're capable of. Like they'll be like, oh, well, Gentry, like, and no, you know, disrespect to G. And I know that this is like what you're saying. It's like at that level, it's kind of like, okay, well, he can take you there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he can take you there,
Yeah.
you know? And then, so, you know, I know what you're saying is like 310 is kind of like proving that, like, no, I can take you there.
And that's what it was. So it's like, yes, was it like financial? Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, it was more the way your peers view you and the opportunities and the conversations and the people who may not have picked up the phone or call you back.
Yeah.
They're now calling you first.
Right,
you know
right,
what
right.
I mean? Or like,
and that's kind of like a part of the question of like the manager, right? Because it's like nothing really changed in your capability
Not
of
at
what
all,
you
yeah.
did for all of the artists that came before 310. You know what I mean? It was just like was always capable.
yeah,
It's just like whatever y'all bring me, that's what I have to work with.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I gotta imagine that. What does it feel like? Like, have you had an artist that kind of felt like it was your fault that they weren't big?
Yeah. Yeah. We both worked with them.
That is hilarious, bro.
You know
That
what
is
I'm saying?
hilarious.
Like-
So it has to be like rewarding to be like, because I'm sure you didn't say nothing. You didn't have to say nothing.
Yeah.
It was just like, you know what it is.
It's like the it's just the gratification of like being able to have an idea and accomplish what you know you could do.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's really like in the most simplistic form is that. And then obviously all the perks come along with achieving that success.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, for me, the most gratifying thing was being like, I told you guys we could do it.
Yeah.
Like same thing with talking to, like you said, how you started with the whole independent conversation. It was like when I had wrote an email to the label, it was like inspiring. Like, look, like everybody says we can't do this. Like we did this from scratch. Like found him at 1,000 followers to take it from that to this. Like it's possible. You know what I mean? So yeah, to like think back to those situations where like, maybe I had wanted to work with an artist and they passed on me because they felt like I wasn't big enough, or was working with an artist and they felt like, you know, the reason they weren't where they're at was because of me. You know, it was gratifying because it was like, told you guys we could do it. It's possible. Like, and like it was hard, but it wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was just like waking up and every day crossing off your to-do list. Okay, today we got to do this, this, and this. And you wake up and we did that for 6 months and then the rest was history.
Yeah. do you feel like it was like what was the work though? Like, cause I can imagine like when he comes with the record, like are you guys identifying immediately like, oh, this is a hit record?
A lot of times he does. A lot of times he does. Like we end up liking the same songs. Like we rarely disagree on music, but a lot of times he'll create something and he'll be like, this is it. And like he's not wrong. Like he's so in tune with his audience. And like he has like his focus group of like friends that he like trusts their opinions.
Yeah.
He'll send them the little snippet before me. So then when he called me, he
knows.
Listen, seven kids said this. I put it on my Finsta. This is gonna work. I'm like, all right, it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Like, rock your hips. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So a lot of times, yeah, it's really, I give him the credit when it comes to that. It's really
No, that's huge. That's huge because, you know, I mean, all of us managers would love to have that. You know what I mean? Like, would love to have an artist that just brings you a hit, and then you say, "Hey, man, we need another hit," and then they just bring you another one.
hit,
You know what I mean? I mean, I think we all would love that.
No, he's really a dream come true, bro. I said it like on my page. I'm sure you've seen it, but
Yeah.
he'll constantly thank me, and like when I posted it, because I wasn't on social media for a long time, and like I thanked him, and I was like, bro, you always talk about how I changed your life, and I know I have. I know what I've done. He knows what I've done for him, but I'm like, I don't think you really realize what you did for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's good. It's so dope to see it, and it's so dope to see it happen to such a good person. You know, like we've had the pleasure of knowing each other for so long, and I feel like we know without having the conversation that we're so similar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like super similar.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it just feels good to see you win.
Thank you.
And see him appreciate, you know, what you've done for him. It's super dope. Are you single?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Man, how is that going?
You got this thing down packed, bro.
Yeah, no. I'm telling you, like I told you before, like, dog, I really like to do this shit.
No,
like I
you're great.
really like I have a good time with this
You're
shit.
gonna go down with the Charlemagne.
I really have a good time. Like I don't give a fuck if I don't make no money with this shit. Like I really
No, but you are gonna make money for sure. No, I mean, gosh, how's it going? For so long, it was, since we were talking about 310, it was every day it was 310.
Yeah.
It was like no time for anything else. And I think now I'm at a space in my life where there's time for that. So trying to figure it out. But
yeah.
I think it was great. I don't know if I could have did what we done with more responsibilities.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So like this is like a new decision where you like, have you put thought to it? Like, yo, I want a date, or this is just like
310 tells me all the time, like, bro, why don't you have a girlfriend? And I'm
Really?
like, cause I have you.
Oh wow.
Cause I have to pick you up like every day. This was last year when I found out. I was picking him up every day, bro. He didn't try 17.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he'd be like, or like maybe there was like a date I would want to go to, and I'd make plans for Friday, but then Blast would call and want to bring him out. And he'd be like, oh, so did you hang out with such and such last week? And I'd be like, no, we were hanging out Blast.
You, dog.
Yeah. Like I had to pick you up, and then we had to go shopping.
Hilarious.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, now it's definitely more like, you know, he's gotten comfortable with his own team and like being on the road without me. And like, it's like so dope to see. Like he'll call me and tell me how things go, and like, it's a lot more of like a friendship now versus like if we're together all the time, it's like me like on top of things.
1000%. Yeah, nah, that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Do you know what you want? Like, have you had time to like I mean, you've obviously lived this long, you know what I mean? But like, I mean, you'd be surprised. Like people, they don't know what they want. Like they know they're into girls, or you know what I mean, but like they hadn't like took the time out to be like, okay, I want a girl who like has her thing going on, you know, she has similar interests, she has a good moral compass, like they don't really.
No, family values like super important to me, you know what I'm saying? Like common interests are great. I think somebody that understands our lifestyle, you know what I mean, like you're blessed, bro. Like you have a gorgeous family. Like,
thank you.
And you had that while you were grinding doing this. So it's like,
shout out to Christy, man. I mean, my wife is just like incredibly supportive of like whatever I do. She's just has this unbelievable belief in me where she's just like, whatever he wants to do, he's gonna do it. So I'm just gonna support, you know. So like whatever that means, like I'm cool with it, you know. And a lot of people always ask like, "Dang, like how are you getting away with that?" And it's like, well, because I'm actually executing,
right?
You know what I mean? Like there's actual results that come from this shit. So you know what I mean? Like you put up some numbers and she'll let you rock out. You know, you could go, you know, on tour and shit like that because You know what I mean? You sending shit back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
nah, that's real.
yeah, like,
no,
so,
that's real.
you know, you
bro.
put up a couple numbers and then, you know, and then I was fortunate to like put up numbers early.
Early, yeah.
So then it was just like, oh yeah, he's a different human.
Nah, facts.
And that was because and I asked you because like, so have you been out there in the dating world? Like, do you know what it's like?
Not really.
Oh, you don't know
I
what
don't
you're
really
getting-
like super put myself out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because this is interesting out there.
For
Yeah.
me, it's really like a lot of my free time. I like raise my niece.
Yeah.
So it's like she's like a lot of people think she's my daughter. She's not my daughter. I
Mm.
don't have kids, but I love spending time with her. So it's like free time. Yeah. I mean, if I like run into a woman and we start talking or hang out, obviously that happens. But it's like I'm not actively like posting the single memes on the story to see if I could who I could catch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
good way to go about it. That's a good way to go about it. Seems like you're super balanced. Like you have a good. Do you feel like as a human you long for more, or do you feel like you're like at ease and you like I kind of got like what I want?
I feel like I'm getting there. I don't know, like if I think if it was like a scale to 1 to 10 from like wanting more and being content, I'm maybe like a 7, 8. You know,
That's
I'm just
pretty
like,
good though.
Yeah,
Like a 7, 8.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm like I got a great like 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? And then like,
You know, it's
I got a great like my own thing, and it's like healthy family. Like, you know what I mean? Like I love my family, so it's like I feel like I have most of the pieces,
Yeah.
except that piece. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right,
Which
right,
will
right.
come. You know what I mean? But yeah, but for a while it was like not to go back to our previous convo, but it was proving that I could do what I know I could do.
Mm.
And once that was accomplished, then a lot more peace entered my life.
Yeah. Do you know? It's interesting. Like now that you're here,
Yeah.
do you know what you like to do?
Yeah.
What do you like to do?
So like we were talking about this before too, like the toys.
Okay, yeah,
Big collector,
yeah.
big art collector, like toy collector, travel, food, like low key. Like I'm pretty simple, bro. Like,
But
out
see,
the way.
this is what I mean though. This is what I mean by like, I don't. That wasn't anything.
what do you mean?
It was nothing to do actually. Like
Yeah.
like food you have to go eat.
No, but like really do the food. Like I'm not talking weed. I'm not. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
a
Like,
foodie too.
that's what I'm saying.
But I don't
like,
put it in the things that I like to do. Like,
But I
like,
enjoy going to new places. Like if you told me like
me too.
that's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying like, do you like to bowl? Do you like to jet ski? Do you like to go on boats? Do you like to play poker? Do you like I think that people don't dig enough. It's like they
I'm not
like
like
they
I don't like to be outside.
it don't matter what it is.
No, but I'm saying like the jet ski.
No, it don't
the,
gotta be
like-
jet ski.
No,
though.
but I'm just saying because that's what you said. Like
I'm saying like I am like fascinated at how like people because what I hear from you is that like
Yeah.
I've been working.
yeah, absolutely.
Work. I've been working so hard that a girl doesn't fit in the equation.
Right.
So obviously, like leisure time stuff probably hasn't either.
Yeah.
Enough to where when I ask you, it's like, it's not even as confident as I would think. It's like I like to travel and like I like food and I like to collect toys. But it's like if you collect toys, you buy the toy, you put it on a thing. That's like it's over.
No, but
You know what I'm saying? Like
no, but listen, there's like conventions and like there's things like you know what I'm saying? Like it's a thing. It's the whole world around.
well,
that.
because like I've also like been around.
I mean, you collect too.
No, I collect,
Yeah.
but like if you were to ask me, dog, I've went in, like
Yeah.
I've like done digging where I know exactly what I like
Yeah.
all of those. I like to travel, but I like to go in the water when I go to the beach. I like pools. I like jet skis. I like ATVs. I like to play poker. I like to gamble. Um, I like to go to basketball games, football games.
Oh yeah,
like,
I like. Oh
so
yeah,
here we go.
So that's the
Yeah,
other
so
thing.
here we go. Here we
Yeah,
go.
my
Like,
bad,
so,
I wasn't thinking. Yeah.
yeah. So here we go.
So my mom and I got this thing. We're visiting every stadium.
Here we go.
Yeah.
See,
So baseball, football, for sure. Yeah.
no,
My
but
bad. I wasn't.
no, it's not even
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
bad. I think like when even in the beginning when you're like, like what, I like that you talk about different things and it's not just music and I want it to be that way in a way where it's like I talk to my friends because I don't say like, oh, like I have a guest or like it's like these are my friends.
Yeah,
You know what I
facts.
mean? And
Yeah,
they
yeah.
just so happen to be who they are.
Yeah.
And in that though, let's like have a conversation, but let's also like educate in a way where it's like, yeah, you work hard.
Yeah.
Got that. And I've been in this industry long enough to see like I don't think a lot of our peers are having a good time.
No, we not. No.
Like so and this is
Yeah.
why I asked that question because it's like, okay, I asked him like when you watch this back you're going to be like, "Oh, he asked those in order." Like in a way where it was like you
You
like
set it up.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you're like 7 or 8. That's like 2 or 3 away from 10, which is like I'm there,
Yeah.
so like it's kind of time to like have fun,
And dig in. Yeah.
and figure out what I like to do. Cause what does 310 baby like to do?
Play video games.
I bet you know everything about
Yeah.
him.
No facts. Yeah.
I bet you know everything about G.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then when it's you, it's like, oh yeah, I did want to go to me and my mom, we did talk about it's
Yeah.
like way back
In
there.
the back. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nah, that's real. And a lot of our peers are either like single or divorced or on the borderline of being broke, like,
depressed,
depressed,
just tearing their hair out, and
physically not in good shape. Like, yeah, bro, that's real. That's
that's why I want to bring it
That's
up
real.
because it's like, I think that people should be intentional with a lot of their life, and I think a lot of people, it sucks because I don't mind the grind stage. I'm all about like grinding and putting in the work. And I think at some point, like you create a habit and it doesn't take that long to create a habit, but a lot of us create this habit where it's just work. And it's also like artist or talent driven. It's like them. And somewhere along the line, you forget about you and what you like to do. What makes me happy? Like, what do I want? And there's so many layers to it because it's like you oftentimes want what you see other people have. Even career accolade wise, like, oh yeah, I want to do that too. And it's like I see it all the time where like you have like managers, A&Rs, whatever, and they're like, yeah, I want like a #1 billboard and I want my artists to do this and this and this. And then it's like the why is like they don't know why.
Yeah.
At all. Like it's not like and that's why you see like a manager or even like an artist, they win a Grammy and it's like the next day it's kind of like
Empty, depressed.
yeah, it's like, wait, that was it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Like, and that's why like I'm asking, and I think that, yeah, like I said, people need to be more intentional with like maybe writing it down. Like, okay. And then also like I would hope that you or people watching would be like, leave here and be like, what do I like for real now? Like, let's really get into it. And then now on the experiences and on like different trips or different things, cause like we have the opportunity or like the pleasure of going to a lot of places.
Yeah.
And in this pod alone, like you like, yeah, I don't want to go to New York again. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to go to Detroit again. I don't want to. But I find it like often we didn't really go to New York. We went to Complex
Yeah.
and MTV.
I get what you're saying.
We didn't go to New York though.
Right.
We went to Irving Plaza.
Right.
Or, you know what I mean, Barclays.
You went to Hot 97.
Yeah, we didn't
You
go.
didn't go to the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, we didn't go
That's
there.
a bar.
And that's like what I mean, like when I'm like, well, what do you like to do?
Yeah.
You know, because oftentimes people are like, they think they know, but they don't know. Like, because it's just like, now it's like, because I heard this UFC fighter one time. It don't have nothing to do with like what you like, but he was like, I like to write at night what I have gratitude for. And he found himself like at night wanting to have things to write down. So during the day, he's like looking for what am I thankful for? Like what do I want to show gratitude towards at the end of the night? And I always I look at that the same, like in the same spaces, like what do I like? Like, cause I now that I like him, knowing like to be intentional and to kind of like list it, the list that I have are like it's insane. I mean, but it's like very like, what do you like to eat specifically, and how do they make you feel? Like when you eat burritos, like what do they make you feel, heavy, or what is it like when I drink coconut water for 7 days straight? Like, and I just don't think people are like that intentional.
No, they're absolutely not. That's like why, like, I'm listening to you talk. I'm like, it's pretty deep, bro.
I mean, but it's like, it's just like, I just want every human, because I think that we all can live the life that we want. I just don't think that we're actually like paying attention to ourselves enough to know like what I want. I think people are like watching because there's so much to watch now.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I want that. And it's like, do you? Are you sure? And I think that it took me to get to where you are, 7, 8, to understand like, I thought I wanted that. I didn't really want that.
Right.
Like, I wanted to do these things, which were like, honestly, don't need $1 million to do a lot of those things that I said.
Yeah.
I need $100 to jet ski on the beach for, if it's a higher price, it's like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Which I don't need 30 minutes when I'm really out there. You know what I mean? To go in the water at the beach is free. It just cost me to get there.
Yeah.
But then, and then in that regard, it's like, does it matter if I sit in the front of the plane or the back? Does it really matter?
Right.
As long as I got
to the destination.
Because I wanted to go in the water, right?
Right.
So I think that, and that's why I think that what I want to talk about on the pod is, it's like an educational, but it's this way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where it's like enlightening, but at the same time, it's like we talk through a series of things.
No, that's fire.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm really, really happy for you.
Thank you.
I'm really, really, really happy for you. And you are really, really, really close, if nobody else tells you, to perfect. And I don't think people like that. I don't think, and I'm not talking about you in particular.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if you were to say that to someone, they would be like, who are you? Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
And but you didn't say I'm perfect. You said I'm close. Oh, they would hate that.
Yeah.
But I'm here to tell you, you're like 2 pieces away.
Yeah.
And honestly, not really. Because you don't. It's not like that's like a society thing. You don't
Yeah.
really need a wife and kids to be perfect.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
you're pretty close.
Yeah.
And I think that you should walk away from here basking in it, because I think that a lot of times we listen to people that aren't so confident in themselves and don't like themselves. We listen to them say, you shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
And it's like, we never really ask why.
Yeah.
Why do you think that? Oftentimes it's because they would never imagine them being even close to perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I
That's good.
appreciate that, bro.
You know, this one is a shorter one, but I'm good with that.
Yeah.
There, I think we did a lot there.
Yeah, for sure.
I really appreciate you coming. It really means a lot to me.
No, thank you for having me. I didn't expect it to take this turn, but definitely what I needed, for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
This is what I'm here for.
Yeah.
This is I feel like my purpose is to enlighten. I want to enlighten.
That's hard. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.